We are officially now in 2023, and as we start looking towards Lightfall, I wanted to start to get into some of the things that will be coming and speculate on big mysteries that have yet to have answers to as we head into February. One of those things are catalysts. Now, you're wondering, what catalysts do you mean, Redrix? We know catalysts allow you to upgrade exotic weapons by granting them either more stats, a new perk, or both, and knowing that every season going forward in Destiny will give us a brand new catalyst for an exotic from past expansions and seasons in Destiny 2 from year 1 through year 5. We have a lot of exotics nowadays with a catalyst, but not every weapon has one. For a long time since Season of the Splicer, the three following exotics, Divinity, Xenophage, and Monte Carlo, have been in Light GG to have a catalyst very soon. To start off, let's go into the exotics that I've just said, and let's of course go over what their exotic perk is if you aren't familiar with these exotics. The Monte Carlo is an exotic kinetic auto rifle that has the exotic perk, the Monte Carlo method. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill. You get this from exotic drops. Pretty good auto rifle overall, and definitely one of my favorites from Shadowkeep. Divinity is an exotic arc trace rifle that has the exotic perk Judgment. Sustained damage with this weapon envelops the target in a field that increases vulnerability to arc damage and stuns them. Strong against overload champions. One of the best and most popular exotics is Divinity, and it's definitely something you will still see in a lot of endgame activities like dungeons and raids. Heck, my own Spire of the Star Day 1 team used Divinity, so it is pretty awesome. This exotic you will get from a exotic quest that goes into puzzles within the Shadowkeep raid known as the Garden of Salvation. The last exotic is called Xenophage, which is an exotic solar machine gun that has the exotic perk Pyrotoxin Rounds. Fires high-powered explosive ammunition. This is also from an exotic quest in Shadowkeep with the Pit of Heresy dungeon. This exotic is very popular within the meta right now, and is still the same with Divinity. As you can tell, the last two exotics, Divinity and, of course, Xenophage, will be extremely, are amazing still, and are extremely powerful. And like I say now, if these weapons have demonstrated huge potential and overall are strong weapons with the Monte Carlo, and if they do get a catalyst, it will be insane. We just gotta find when Bungie will add, of course, something to these weapons. So, as we know so far, catalysts to these weapons could be added very soon, and I could see more of the overall exotic or intrinsic perk being improved rather than the stats, but time will tell. Overall, seriously though, I do feel like with these, more powerful exotics, Bungie usually tends to actually upgrade or improve the exotic perk overall, because again, you could increase the stats if it's ridiculously powerful. You don't want to go too crazy on it, but with the Trinity Gould exotic catalyst, that was of course very powerful and made the weapon very good. A lot of people love when they add more to the exotic perk and they change a lot of the things up, so they will, of course, improve the weapon, take away its flaws from what it is if it's a PvE or PvP focused weapon, and then of course make it a much better exotic than it previously was. So Bungie will of course plan on these three exotics, whatever they're more tied to, and there's of course said activity. Of course for Divinity would be PvE, so Bungie would plan more for Divinity. Same with Xeno, same with Monty, basically. So, for right now, Bungie are planning exotic cows for these weapons. So, as we delve closer a little bit in the Lightfall, someone, of course, Proctor, who goes into a lot of the exotic weapons and other things that are around the weapons going forward in Lightfall. For exotic weapon reworks, as we know, many are being worked on for Lightfall, as Proctor confirmed a list of exotic weapons that are getting overhauled in the Lightfall expansion. They are the following: Leviathan's Breath, Sunshot, 1000 Voices, Polarous Lance, Prometheus Lens, Ruinous Effigy, Two-Tailed Fox, and the Queenbreaker. On Catalyst, he says the following: For new Catalyst, Proctor said, I think we will just keep the Catalyst to ourselves for a moment. Overall, the release date is uncertain, but as soon as these exotic reworks are finally in place and ready, Bungie will move towards with Catalyst again to Forsaken and Shadowkeep exotics and further improve those weapons throughout Year 6 and Year 7. So, we have, of course, gotten Catalyst for a lot of the weapons back in Year 1, we got some in Year 2, and we are finally now getting a lot of them for Year 3. Of course, this season we got, of course, Cloud Strike, and if I said that right, Cloud Strike, yep. And we, of course, got the Thunderlord Catalyst previously. As time will go on, Bungie, of course, doesn't really have a schedule on, and they usually do it randomly on from expansion to expansion. They don't keep it, okay, let's do these catalysts this season, let's do this expansion catalyst for this next one. They don't do it like that. It's all kind of over the place, and that's the only thing I really hate about Catalyst. There's no kind of schedule format. There's no roadmap, basically. They kind of go in random. And the 3 exotics I listed, funny enough, are all from the same expansion known as Shadowkeep, which could have been, or would have been, of course, vaulted with Lightfall, but of course we know that they're not going to do that. So time will really tell with this one. I don't know how or when they'll get to, of course, Shadowkeep exotics. The last one I think that was a Shadowkeep exotic that they gave a catalyst to was Deathbringer, and that was back, I think, in Season of the Lost, if I'm right. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be entirely wrong there. But it's been a while since we really went into Shadowkeep exotics, and now we're getting some of the Beyond Light exotics. And they have even yet went into the Witch Queen exotics, which we'll probably have to wait a while for. So, time will really tell. We know we're getting a catalyst for old weapons in Lightfall in Season 20, and we are getting new catalysts for the new exotic weapons in, of course, Lightfall. So time will tell. Hope you guys enjoyed. I usually call these catalysts for Xenophage, Divinity, and Monte Carlo the mystery catalysts because they've been in the game for so long and have a own new placeholder since Splicer, but nothing has been really released about them. So it's definitely a huge mystery going forward until we find out a direct answer in Year 6. Subscribe and like so you never miss out on any new content, and I'll see you guys on the next one.